Coffee and Chats. We're joined here today with Daniel.
Hello, and I'm joined here today by Michael DC.
That's me.
This is the guaranteed not 2 hours long edition of Coffee and Chats, following the disastrous guaranteed 2 hour long edition of Coffee and Chats.
Maybe we can give a little bit of context to why exactly it was considered a disaster. Sure, it was fun doing the episode, but we were very tired during it, and also, but that wasn't really the problem. The problem was exporting it. I don't know, maybe I just did it the wrong way, or my specs aren't good enough, but it took like 5 days to do that with my computer staying on overnight. I didn't know how to export just the YouTube video. So
Yeah, wow.
oh god, I'm used to just doing it for one night, but no.
I thought it was hilarious, the idea that we were like, we've missed a week, so we'll record 2 hours, sort of to compensate for the fact that we missed a week, but it took us so long that we almost missed another week.
Yeah, we did
because of that. So the premise of it being regular, I think, is sort of falling apart.
Yeah.
But
it's hard.
Yeah, it is. And we are going back into college, but
Yeah.
we're still doing it regularly. But yeah, it wasn't a bad podcast. And even listening back to it, I thought, that's not actually terrible. But definitely near the end, you could tell that we were running out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
We were also really tired because we've been recording for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, we didn't take any breaks, so I think next time, if a 2 hour podcast is happening, then like a podcast marathon somehow, you need to take breaks.
Yeah,
you're talking for so long, and it's just
it's really hard.
It's hard to give you the entertainment that you guys have today. Guys, come on, give us a break.
You, what, 15 views probably.
17 was our subscribers.
17 was our peak.
Yeah. Actually, I think the last episode got about 20 something. So
oh my word!
It's funny how that's the.
Yeah.
To us, you're 27, that's good,
That is good. I mean, I'm just happy. If it makes one person laugh, then I'm happy with it. If they're satisfied with it, it doesn't need to be lots of people.
It doesn't. No.
This episode of Coffee and Chats is brought to you by Ultra Amateur Edition, where my window is actually open. So if you hear noises, I apologize, but it's very warm in here. So if we don't leave it open, we'll overheat and die. Yeah,
we could close it, but it's really warm in here.
It's really warm.
We're not going to.
It's very warm. My room isn't actually normally this warm.
Yeah.
Which is really unusual. I don't know if it's just because there's the two of us in here.
Probably.
But it's normally quite cold.
We could have done another room, but nah, we're
quite comfortable.
We're comfortable up here, and I didn't want to move, even though I moved downstairs anyway to get a microphone stand. So
yeah, there you go.
To get our gear.
To get the.
But we moved out of our regular studio because we're having a couple of
creative concerns.
Yeah.
With the production and director.
We decided to bring Coffee and Chats back to its roots of just me and Dan, and then
No fancy post editing, no full production studio, no paid for guests.
Yeah.
None of that.
Tim is not on today as a sponsor. He came on his own record.
He won't be recording.
We did not pay him.
Don't think we could pay him. Don't think we could afford him.
Tim's basically going to be a regular anyway, so
Yeah, Tim's going to definitely be a regular.
He's coming back. Everyone likes Tim.
Yeah.
Actually, in the Tim episode, as I said, got a lot of views compared to what we normally get. So
yeah.
I guess Tim is the one to keep, and Jonathan not so much.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Tim's definitely a crowd pleaser.
He is. Yeah.
And as well as that, even between recording sessions, we've recorded our first coffee quest.
We did indeed, yeah.
That was really interesting, actually.
We did our first kind of recording session of. We did a session of it, and we can get about a couple of episodes out of that. 3, probably.
Yeah, 3 is kind of the rough estimate.
But we won't spoil too much, but it's intriguing. That's all I'll say as a player myself. I'm the player. Dan's the DM, and we have Tim and Jonathan.
Yeah.
2 Coffee and Chats. Alumni, I guess.
Congratulations. Here's your badge.
I'm so getting badges now.
Oh man, we need to do a Diamond Dog style logo for Coffee and Chats.
Diamond Dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to segue into us talking about Metal Gear Solid 5.
I was actually going to talk about Coffee Quest first. It's my first time running D&D 5th edition. It's actually my first time playing 5th edition at all.
Yeah.
It seems relatively simple. I mean, obviously it's very, very similar to other editions of D&D, but kind of trimmed back. I like the system of inspiration, and I like the system of advantage because they're relatively easy to understand.
They are, yeah.
And
the inspiration point system is very kind of vague, that you can kind of do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
They purposely make it vague so you can just like, oh, I'm going to do it this way, and then other players will do it that way. So
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
And the advantage as well in a way, but but that's a really good system as well.
Yeah, no, I think the advantage system is really good. I mean, we didn't use it a huge amount because it was it's sort of I mean, my concern, I suppose, is that because it's very broad, it would be very easy to manipulate it and sort of always roll with either advantage or disadvantage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, the sun is in his eyes, or oh well, I do this or whatever. You know, so I guess I'm trying to make sure that it's used a manageable number of times. Like, if you use advantage on a roll, it sort of not necessarily feels like really special, but there's a like noticeable benefit. So I think the one time we might have used advantage, I'm not sure if we used it another time, was when you were tracking down that alleyway.
Yeah.
And on the first roll you passed, so then on the second roll I gave you advantage.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, you figured some things out, so it'll be easier to figure out the next thing.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of able to logically put together what happened.
But it's it kind of it's more of a, because we had to make it more story kind of driven, because that's an entertaining show if it's a good story.
Yeah.
You couldn't really do too much of a classic D&D, go into a dungeon and lots of fighting, because you guys probably won't like listening to that.
It would just be us declaring numbers.
Yeah, and then that wouldn't be interesting. That's not exciting. I was going to say exciting TV, but we're not on TV.
This is awful television. Well, I would certainly hope so. It's a podcast.
But no, it's going to be promising, but it's going to be a lot of it's going to come out. I'm hoping the first episode is I don't want to be saying this now, but I guess I'm already saying it. But I'm trying to get the first episode coming out next month for you guys, because it's going to be a bit of editing towards it. But
oh, there's a squeaky bus.
Squeaky bus outside.
I don't know if that's actually showed up on the thing, but we certainly heard it.
I wonder if the fans who don't know us, like the fans, I wonder if the fans who don't know us can kind of like figure out by like listening to the background, like, where does Dan live?
That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Here's a hint. I think it was a 46A, but I'm not sure. Although in fairness, that bus stop gets a lot of buses, so it could have been any of them. But yeah, Coffee Quest. It was really fun to record. We were set up downstairs in my study, the four of us, kind of, set about the room. We had the two mics set up, and we had kind of, everyone had their character sheets and things like that. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was really exciting.
Yeah, it was like a proper kind of like little studio going on.
Yeah,
it was, like, because we of course we're not in our old studio.
We're not in our old studio.
Yeah.
After all the incidences we had in episode 3, where the director got rather upset with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of taking a brief, hiatus, creative hiatus from our traditional production team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun.
They always want us back though. Like,
sorry, we just bring in the views. Like, why would you not want us back?
All 27 of those
all
views.
27 of those views. Yeah, and I actually thought it was, but I think it definitely had the same thing as the 2-hour podcast, where, like, I remember when you came over initially, because I think it was you and Tim arrived at about the same time. Like, you came over and you had your equipment, and Tim had all his equipment, and we started setting up, and I remember you said, like, oh, we're already all set up here, we should do coffee and chats afterwards. And then we recorded like something in the region of like 3 or 4 hours of content, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 hour there could be hour-long episodes.
Yeah, so, yeah. Maybe like a little bit shorter, because we'll edit out kind of the chaff and boring stuff.
Yeah, but that's just behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
there.
That's admin. Yeah,
we did about 3.5 hours.
About 3.5 hours of stuff, and by the end of it, we were just exhausted. We were so tired.
Yeah.
It was like, I think we went downstairs and just played Mario Kart, because we couldn't handle doing more recording.
Yeah. Well, like, it's really, like, we love doing this, of course.
Yeah,
because like you can tell, because we don't know one listens to us, but we still do it anyway. But no, but we love doing this. But it's very tiring to be talking and also playing it's usually it wouldn't be as tiring if you're kind of playing D&D without recording, but like knowing the microphone's on, it just kind of, you have to kind of be on your A game. Really,
yeah, I get what you mean. You have to sort of be providing, like you can't just be playing D&D, you have to be playing D&D and providing for the microphone.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even in a podcast, you've got the same thing of like you can't leave long gaps of silence.
No.
In the same way that you could. I mean, I don't know. Not everyone does this, but like I find sometimes when I'm talking with friends that you'll just hit a natural pause in the conversation. You won't speak for a minute.
Yeah.
But like you can't have that same thing in a podcast because of the fact that there's an audience, because there's like a third party invested in the conversation, and for them, like the fact that there would just be no noise is just strange rather than a sort of natural thing.
Like I was told many times that on radio, like dead air is just like the worst thing you can possibly have. Like it's just you do not want any sort of silence in there. People have to keep talking and stuff has to keep happening.
Yeah.
So, but
that's really interesting. The idea that like dead air is like, and I mean I know that they're sort of they're talking about it and from the point of view of like providing for an audience, but it's interesting that like from a sort of radio point of view, like having someone swear on air is like bad.
Yeah.
But dead air is like almost worse, or like it's sort of viewed as worse. So it's like, something is, people find it more like wrong when there's dead air than when someone swears on the radio or whatever.
Like sorry, I got a lot of dead air now. But no, no, but what was I saying? Sorry, yeah, no, I was listening to radio recently, and it was like there's one moment where it's just kind of a long enough silence and stuff, and it was just really uncomfortable for me for that 1 second. Like, that's just weird, that one silence, and then just it went back, and then I was like, oh, it's fine. But just it can really make you feel weird when you're listening to radio and there's for a long enough time there's like nothing coming out of it.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I definitely got that sometimes when I was listening to podcasts. And I can't remember which podcast it was I was listening to, but I remember there was one where there was like a few seconds of silence.
Was it Coffee and Chats?
I don't think it was, because when it's Coffee and Chats, I can tell that it's just us. But like it was another podcast, and I remember because it was on my phone and I was listening to it while going home. And what happened was I was like, there was this pause, and I literally like took out my phone and looked at the screen to check something hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why is it so quiet? Why isn't the podcast playing anymore? And yeah, it was just like a piece of dead air, and it actually just like, it is really interesting how you almost come to expect a sort of constant stream of audio.
Yeah, we in a college course I did for film and TV production, we were recording a kind of a live radio kind of drama, or like a live radio kind of comedy skit. We're doing it on the radio and stuff, but there was like one half we're doing like the acting out, and the other half we're kind of as the audience, and we can't swap for next recording. But the audience were like our lecturer said, like the audience have to kind of heckle if there's silence, because you don't want dead air. So like you want the audience like either if the joke's not funny, he encourages to say not funny, like just but because like you do not want dead air in that. You have to keep the laughter going, or like the heckling woohoo or stuff. Like because we'll be like acting it out, and like there's lots of like people forgetting lines and stuff, and we're like and like not knowing when to come in and stuff, and then that the audience were there to kind of fill in the blanks and stuff. But that's kind of weird that like he encouraged heckling for us, because he just doesn't want dead air.
It's better than dead air.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. That's cool though. I like that idea that you have a sort of radio audience to act as like buffers to avoid dead air.
Yeah,
it's kind of a fun idea.
Like I guess if you do have the audience, they would be kind of they will be kind of laughing or cheering on and stuff. Like if it's like you can only really do that with comedy though, of course. So like
yeah, I get what you mean. Like you don't have that maybe like in sort of the radio equivalent of a sitcom.
Yeah.
Which might still be called a sitcom. I don't actually know.
I haven't seen much radio sitcoms, but like I've heard plenty of like comedy sketches on radio, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
I listened to a bunch of them and stuff. I forgot the names, but there's a bunch of really good ones, because I had to write a lot of radio scripts.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of my assignments were like write a script and then write the radio version of that script, or the same script.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I just had to cut it was pretty much the same, but I had to add in sound effects and stuff. Or like sound effects guy comes in here, whether in the actual script, it would say, oh, he just walks in, and then
that's
of
course.
it.
In the actual script it would be a stage direction, whereas in the radio script it would be like a sort of there should be a sound effect here to indicate that this has happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
But we listened to a bunch of them, and they're really like, because I guess they're kind of weirdly obsolete now, because they're not around that like anymore, and they might be around in some kind of podcast, but like I don't know too much of them really.
I know that there's there was certainly a plan. I don't know if it ever went through, but I saw an advert for it, where the BBC were going to bring back the Doctor Who radio adventures.
Oh yeah.
Presumably because of the popularity of Doctor Who. Yeah, like they were going to bring it back. I think it was either this year or last year. I don't know if they did do it, but I think they might have. I think it was kind of an adventure with one of the older Doctors.
Yeah.
But it looked interesting, and it's like it's interesting that the idea of a radio play or a radio comedy skit or anything like that isn't showing up.
Yeah.
I guess to some extent they've been replaced by podcasts. But even
like I've heard the idea of like podcasts where you tell stories, or even like people writing comedy stories and literally reading them out. But I haven't listened to many podcasts where they're kind of it's like a play or something, or it's where they're acting it out there with different actors. You know, normally when I hear like a podcast, like a comedy podcast, it'll be and it's like to do with fiction. It'll be kind of a guy reading out a story to make his friends laugh or something. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I suppose there are podcasts where you do the like where there's like it's like there's a podcast. Actually, there was a podcast that I listened to one of. I think it's called The Heart or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's actually that. It's like radio plays, but in a podcast format.
Okay.
I listened to one that was about like scientists trying to discover another dimension that's kind of like parallel to our own, but simultaneously invisible. It was interesting. And like, it was interesting even how like they did a good job of like setting all the scenes. So like, if I recall correctly, it started off and like they were in the lab, and then like one of the characters went home, and then like, you know, the next day they were back in the lab and they like found like, you know, this vital piece of evidence, and then they were at like an award ceremony, and then other characters were still in the lab and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, sort of just through background noises and things like that, you could kind of tell where they were, even though you didn't have the same like visual tells like the room or like the outfits people are wearing or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
You know, I just kind of thought of it there that we need to get into the IDT radio studio. Because, Jonathan goes to IDT College in Dublin, and because I was there, and mainly the people in, I think anyone can book it out, but mainly to the people who are doing kind of the audio visual media technology course or stuff like that would kind of to do with radio and to do with sound engineering. So, but I was thinking that we should get like a 4-man podcast, and we need to have an engineer for it though, and everything. But we should like record in there just to see what it's like. But it's really fun.
A proper recording studio.
Yeah, and we'll probably have to do it live. Where like if we're having the theme song, instead of me editing in, will there be us playing it in?
Oh, someone plays the. Oh wow.
Yeah, and the engineer will be like playing it. Like,
and then changing the volume so that wow, that's really cool.
Because one of the modules we had to put on a radio show. Yeah. I was without even me volunteering, I was put as presenter. But it's like it was just really fun being in there, and then you had the engineer, I had the headphones on. The engineer's like go into this topic now or something like, or we're going to play the song now, and then and when the song's playing, because you have to have a song in the middle, like, and when the song's playing, they kind of like had in my ear like we're like coming in like in 3, and then something like that.
That's really cool.
And then I was in this next year where I was with mates of mine, and then they were like, "Oh, come on in! Like we can talk about video games for the second half." And I just came in. We just talked about video games.
That's cool.
So I was in 2 IDT radio podcasts,
nice
radio shows, and I'm like, "Yeah, we gotta do it, but we need an engineer and maybe a director." So, but I think we should give it a go one time. Like,
I'm really happy. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
I'll ask Jonathan. And now that we said it, it has to happen.
Oh God.
Well, we would love to make that happen. I'm sure we could.
I mean, even if we had like Jonathan act as our engineer, he'd probably be happy to try that.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at doing that sort of thing, and even just getting the working of things. He'd probably be happy to do that. And then obviously, if you wanted to be in the podcast, we could see if someone else would record.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably know more sound engineers than I do because you did of course in IDT.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those guys right now would be the ones that they like would be like Jonathan and stuff, like those guys ones. So, like we would know them really. So like like the ones I would go to would be the guys in Jonathan's ear really. So
yeah, okay, cool. But that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's maybe someday we'll get our own. We'll like build a studio in my house or something.
I like that you like picked the most unreasonable part of that. Like you could have said we should get some soundproof walls.
Yeah.
Like that would be manageable. A few soundproof walls and a nice area to record. That's doable. But you're like, no, we'll set up a studio in my home.
But I want the glass though in
Oh,
between.
the glasses. That's where it's at. That's you've made it.
Yeah, I've been in like I've recorded a bunch with like either for that radio show or for like band stuff really.
Yeah.
Which right before I'm gonna actually plug New Ink, my old band. We have finally came out with our EP that we've been working on for a while. 3 songs recorded, and it's really good, and we like it. So listen to it. We'll put it.
Put a link in the description.
I will. Link.
Boom.
There could be a link below. Three songs, free music. We're not really around anymore, but we might be someday. But there's not really any shows. But enjoy the free music. It's
there
good.
you go.
So
you can listen to that. You could even, if you really cared, you could start a petition, and then maybe that would be more likely to bring New Ink together. Or we could just use them to build our themes. If we wanted like elaborate versions of our themes.
Oh yeah.
This is the New Ink version of the Coffee and Chats theme.
That'll be cool. I'll get the guys to do that. But anyway, it was always great being in the kind of the studios, like the proper studios with the glass in between and stuff, and the boots and like
the boots.
The booth.
Oh,
the boots.
I thought you said the boots. I was like, you have to wear boots? What? Like, you know how in like an operating theater you have to wear the plastic bags over your shoes? I thought it might be something like that, like these weird soundproofing.
Yeah, you have to wear boots.
Like these soundproof boots that you need to wear because otherwise your feet make too much noise.
I have cowboy boots, but they'll probably like make noise with just like leather. Like I don't know how boots sound like. I'm just trying to do boots impressions.
Yeah,
I know it's not working.
There's a snake in my boot.
But we worked on the New Ink album in Windmill Lane, and in the big studio Windmill Lane, and that's a very famous studio in terms of kind of the Irish music scene. But we did it for free because my brother's mate was doing a college course in there.
Oh, cool!
And he was like, "I want to pass a year. I like your songs. Let's record it." And we had a great time doing it. It was a really big studio, a really cool studio, and it had like a room to the side with like a kitchen and a living room and a TV with like Netflix and stuff. But one of the days I was playing Shadow of the Colossus again, so I decided to bring my PS2 nice. And then we're like, I'm just gonna play it now while Nathan's doing drums inside because it's gonna take a while and like it's gonna take a while before it gets back to me anyway. So I was like, I'm just gonna play just some video games in here while I can and just drinking tea. But we normally do it like 12 o'clock midnight to the morning because that's the slot
the slot where no one's there.
And we had it for the entire morning, for the entire like all night, and they were really fun. So
that's really cool.
But studios are cool. Someday we'll get one by building it in my house.
I mean, there's so many other more applicable ways to get a studio.
Yeah, but we can we can make a day out of it. Get a couple of lumber from Woody's, you know.
We could make a podcast that's just us building the studio to make podcasts in.
Spoilers, there'll be a lot of hammers and
just mostly the sounds of tools and
the sounds of a drill, like
and then the sawing noise.
Yeah. And like it sounds like my finger.
And then there's like a sort of 3-hour segment that's just our tea break.
And then like we would in the future would be like, we won an award for that episode. In our rocking chairs.
What? Because it was like really avant-garde or something.
Yeah, like it's really like ahead of its time.
Oh, because it's a podcast about building a room to record podcasts in. So it's like meta, and it talks about the futility of the plans of man.
Those Coffee and Chats guys were really ahead of their time. They really
they already knew what was up. They knew what was coming. They were like prophets, man. It's never gonna happen.
We're not doing the building podcast, guys. Just
I think a more applicable argument would be that either of us gets work in a place where they have a recording studio.
Yeah.
Like a journalism outlet would probably have a recording studio. Like newspapers and stuff like that. They normally have, and a lot of like games magazines have recording studios because they do podcasts.
Like if I won the lotto, I would I'll definitely just. Like if I moved out and I won the lotto, I would build myself a studio, like a TV / like a multimedia studio, like a TV / music studio where I can just have fun and do all this stuff, Yeah,
that's
so that's like if I had like a lot of money, that's what I would do, and I just like it'll be free for whatever, and I'll pay I'll pay people extortionate amounts to record in it. So sorry, that was a real like music industry burn.
Let me just take out my let me just take a swing at the music industry, and we'll get back on topic.
Yeah, it's really not that expensive. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, that's fine. I've no objections to you objecting because I've never tried to interact with a recording studio.
We will when you play mouth bass. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bow, wow, wow, bow, bow.
Whoa, no, hey, no spoilers.
What the hell are you doing, man? That's your talent.
I would always do that when New Ink were playing. Jack, the bass player, he would always be playing the bass riff of a song at soundcheck. It's like, here, can bass play? Can play bass? Just play for a sec. We gotta get some levels, and he played the bass to to one of our songs. And it's like it's a good bass line. I'm just like, guys, like no spoilers. Like play another bass line.
Stop. That's ours.
I remember I heard a bass player at a sound check play like the bass line to the Cowboy Bebop opening.
Oh wow.
And I was like, wait, is that Cowboy Bebop? And then it was exactly it. And I was like, yeah, he's cool. And
that's cool.
Nobody there at the gig kind of knew Cowboy Bebop, so I was like,
oh, that's such a shame.
I wanted to be like, dude, it's but no one was there. So
yeah, but still, I mean, I guess it's nice that he's doing it for himself and for the people who are Cowboy Beboppers.
Yeah.
Is that the term for a Cowboy Bebop fan? A bebopper?
I'm shrugging right now.
Let me just do an audio shrug.
I gotta watch that again. Actually, I got it on DVD. So
I actually need to watch it through properly. We should do that together.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's quite good, but it's more kind of it's because a lot of people it's there's a lot of praise for it, so people would think it's a lot better than it actually is, but it's kind of really cool and like aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And the story is just kind of creative, and the setting's creative. And it's
I was gonna say the setting's just really like nice and interesting.
Yeah, it's just a really nice kind of experience to just like take in. And the episodes are very well written, and the dub is very good.
It is actually, yeah.
So Cowboy Bebop is good. You like it's very famous, so like
yeah. But it's still worth checking out. You know,
yeah,
if you haven't, you should watch the first. I don't know how many episodes would you say you have to watch before you know you like it. I'd say like 3. I think 3 is a solid bet.
3. It's like it's an anime series for people who don't know it. Usually when people think about an anime series, it's kind of people think
of shonens.
Yeah, of shonens, but of like kind of like a story going on. Like,
yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Like a really long standing story.
Yeah, because usually they're manga and they're serialized and they're kind of an ongoing story. But this was, I think it was a manga, but it's kind of different in a way. But the anime series is kind of like, it's more like a Western show.
Yeah.
Like as an American show, not like a Western, but it is kind of like a Western.
Yeah, it's both.
But yeah, it's both kind of Western shows. But it's like each episode is its own kind of story.
Yeah, definitely.
But it has a overarching story.
Yeah, it does have an overarching plot. But the overarching plot is very good at not getting in the way, I think. Like, you're definitely... Like, when you're watching an episode, you're not watching it for the overarching plot. You're watching it for kind of the story of that episode.
Yeah. It's kind of like a... like an anime kind of Firefly aesthetic to it, really.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison. It's very much like Firefly. Firefly was an anime series and didn't get cancelled.
Yeah.
And even stuff like, you've got the characters, and all the characters have their own like tragic backstory.
Yeah.
I actually love. Oh no, I can't remember any of the characters' names.
Which one?
The guy with the robot arm.
Jet.
Jet. I love the episode about Jet where you just see like all of his backstory.
Yeah.
So cool. And I love how like all of his sort of backstory scenes are shot like a noir film.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I think
it's really cool.
I love all the like different uses of aesthetics and stuff like that. But yeah. It's an excellent anime series. It's only like 23 episodes on?
Yeah, 23 episoves. And there's a movie which I think is canon to it, but I guess it's only an anime series, so I guess it can be canon. But, but it's I haven't actually watched the movie yet, but that fits in somewhere.
I didn't even know there was a movie.
I think so. Yeah, I think I saw kind of a trailer or clips from it. It looks a lot more actiony.
Oh, okay.
Because Cowboy Bebop is not too much on the action. There's a lot of cool fight scenes, but it's not really an action anime, so don't get into it for that.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's almost like fights tend to be quite short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the movie seems kind of heavy on the action, but it's also Cowboy Bebop. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But I need to watch it, so I'll get around to watching it, and we can watch the series. So
yeah, we should do that. I'm looking forward to that now.
That's cool.
Cool. All right. On the subject of people with robotic arms, I've done it.
Yes. You did it. The perfect segue.
Oh my god.
A segue to surpass Metal Gear.
Both DC and I have been playing a great deal of Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain.
Last episode, I talked about the way that I couldn't get it because I didn't have a next-gen console. There was one day where I realized that it was actually on Xbox 360 and PS3. So that day, I ran out and bought it. Because it is the only game for a while I have been super hyped for.
Yeah, you said this, that it's like the only game that you're actually like, you really want to play. So like,
and I wouldn't mind paying the full price for it, So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm really happy for giving them my money. Well, maybe not Konami, but I'm really happy giving Hideo Kojima the money. But still, I have to give it to Konami anyway.
Yeah, you don't have a choice about that.
Yeah, but no, we've been playing a lot of it there, and
yeah,
you're a little bit behind me.
I'd imagine.
I've been doing a lot of side missions, so I'm kind of a little bit behind.
Yeah, so. Well, I did a lot of the sort of initial side missions, and then I did a bit of the plot. I started doing more plot missions when I realized that I hadn't unlocked a lot of the sort of very basic things. Like, actually, hang on, before we start, sorry. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a stealth game released by Konami, directed by Hideo Kojima.
Not a lot of games are directed anymore.
No, yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a really, really good stealth game, and you've almost certainly heard of it. And if you haven't, you should look into it, and you might like it.
Yeah, this kind of era of Metal Gear Solid games are really kind of to do with building up a base and kind of more on the operations side, and you can kind of like manage like your different teams and stuff, and kind of like it's kind of a different way of playing. It's not always just stealth. There's a lot more to the game now. So.
Yeah. It's hard to explain what the game because it's very much a third person. I think the best way to say it's a third person action game with a lot of elements of like base management and things like that.
Yeah, like it's like because usually it's called tactical espionage action.
Yeah,
but this is now tactical espionage operations. So
interesting. I didn't know there was a change.
Of it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. But we've been playing a lot of it. I think we should start by saying that neither of us have gotten particularly far. I don't know about you, but I don't think either of us have gone too far. So
I'm about 15%.
I think I'm about the same. So if you have finished the game, you probably know more than we do. But if you haven't played the game and you are thinking of picking it up, I would say be careful, because I think for the sake of our conversation, we're probably just going to freely open up on spoilers and things like that.
Yeah, from what we know anyway.
Because I think, from the point of view of someone who's played a fair bit of the game, they'd actually know more than us. And then from the point of view of anyone who hasn't played the game yet, we'd obviously know more than them. But even then, I don't think we know enough to necessarily throw people off buying it. But just as a warning, we'll be discussing everything we know about the game relatively freely.
Yep.
So if you are interested in buying it and want to go into it as dark as you can, skip this part of the podcast. Will we try and indicate when we've stopped talking about Metal Gear?
I'll put up an annotation.
Right. Cool.
Click on the annotation on the video now. And if you're listening to this in the future on another website, then we can't help you.
we'll put like a time when we stop in the description if it's another format, and you can just use that instead. Right? Is that manageable? Because the annotation will have to jump to it.
Future Mikey has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy. No, sure, just skip it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny to see the annotation like skipping until like the end.
Yeah, the idea that the annotation is just like, we never stopped.
It's just been all spoilers.
I'm so sorry. So, so you bought Metal Gear. Oh, wait, what you
I'm just looking at the time. Sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So you bought Metal Gear before I did. And I actually, basically what happened to me was I really wanted to buy Metal Gear because people kept saying it was such a good game. And I decided I'd wait for a little while before buying it. But basically on, I think, Monday this week, maybe Sunday, I just broke.
Yeah.
There was just too much content from people I normally subscribe to, like podcasters and stuff like that, and YouTubers, just talking about how great it was.
Yeah.
That I basically decided that, this is a game. This game clearly has a lot of staying power, and I think if I buy it, I'm not going to regret it.
Yeah.
So I picked it up. So I've played for, I think, 16 hours already, and I'm only really just I wouldn't say I'm only just starting the game, but yeah, I've only just encountered Quiet.
Yeah,
like you just saw me do that.
Yeah, like Dan was because Quiet's kind of a secret to kind of get to her. Like if you wouldn't find her unless you kind of stumble across her or unless a mate tells you, which I actually told Dan. Well, I didn't tell him. I just went like, Dan, go there. And then it's like, okay, sure, and then and you did. He's like, oh, Quiet, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, because obviously, like, I've seen enough of the game to know that I knew about like Quiet as a companion.
Yeah.
I knew that she was this sniper, and I knew that she walked around without very many clothes on.
Yeah, but there's actually a reason for
Yes,
that.
I've heard that there is a reason for that.
But you'll find out.
Yeah, I'm hoping I will. I hope it'll be satisfactory.
But it's actually not. It's kind of like a. It's not really to do. It's not a big backstory about the reason why she doesn't wear much clothes. But there's kind of like okay, that makes sense. Like
All right, fair enough.
As in because you'll hear, but there.
Yeah.
But as in it makes sense in a weird Metal Gear Solid way. But
Okay, yeah, it's a Metal Gear Solid sense, not a regular. Actually, that's something I really enjoyed about the game because obviously there's the prologue mission.
Yeah,
prologue mission was really good. Even though I'd seen it being played, I'd seen the first 30 minutes of it. I still really enjoyed it. I didn't get. This is embarrassing. I didn't get S rank on the prologue mission because
I don't know if I did either actually.
Because there was literally a number of moments. There was one moment, that bit where you're creeping through the hospital beds, and there's like the guard comes in and shoots everyone on the bed.
Yeah.
And the idea is that you have to hide under a bed for the sort of the duration of him shooting everyone.
Oh yeah.
I was doing that, and that was no problem. But I was like, I better get up to Ishmael, because he's hiding kind of up ahead of you. And so I tried to crawl towards him, and I didn't realize there was a second guard. So he just spotted me and just shot me. And in the prologue mission, that early on, before you get a gun, you just die in one hit.
Yeah.
So I just immediately died, and I was like, oh, well, there you go. I guess I deserve that.
That prologue mission was very, I got a real, hallucinogenic kind of vibe to it. It's really like, you don't know what part is in his head and what's not in his head.
Yeah.
Like the way that, Ishmael is basically the same. It's Kiefer Sutherland.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm yourself. Basically, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah. He goes, "You're talking to yourself. Call me Ishmael." That was also weird
because he's Ahab and like.
Yeah. What was with all the Moby Dick references? I thought
there was a whale at one point.
Yeah. There's the It's like you get called Ahab. So for those of you who haven't read Moby Dick, I honestly can't even remember who wrote it. But it's a story about
Herman Melville.
Yes, well done.
There we go.
It's a book about a man hunting a whale. You've almost certainly seen references to it somewhere. Captain Ahab is the character who famously hunts Moby Dick the white whale.
Yeah.
And Ishmael is the narrator of the story. The first line of the book is "Call me Ishmael."
Yeah.
And that's the second thing that Ishmael says to you, I think, isn't it? He goes, "You're talking to yourself. Call me Ishmael."
Call me Ishmael. Yeah.
And then later on, when you're escaping the facility, there's just a giant whale that eats the helicopter.
Like a fire whale.
Yeah, the fire whale
thrown at you.
Yeah.
And by.
But let's rewind a bit. First mission, didn't get it. I didn't get S rank. Kind of embarrassing, but it was really interesting. And what I actually thought was a lot of fun was how when I was playing. Did the first mission, and so you have the first mission where you sneak through this facility and you're not really sure how much of it's real because later on you discover that you may hallucinate as a result of the shrapnel in your head.
Yeah.
And there's the little girl in the gas mask
I thought that was a boy.
I
think if you beat the game, please don't spoil in the comments because only 2 people play the comments. But I think it's Psycho Mantis.
You think it's Baby Mantis?
Yeah, Baby Mantis.
I'm gonna call him Baby Mantis.
Baby Mantis. I think it is because there's a lot of kind of like it feels like a lot of kind of prequel to like Fox and stuff.
I get you.
It could make sense.
And you've played the actual not past Metal Gear games.
Yeah.
Because I've only played Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, and I know the story of 2, but Psycho Mantis is in 1.
Yeah.
So who's he part of? Because
right now he seems to be part of the Skulls.
The Skulls.
And then eventually he's part of Fox Sound, which I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 1 in ages, but it's something to it's like the team where I guess Ocelot was in the team.
Yeah.
With Liquid, and it was with like Liquid Snake and stuff, and they were like the baddies. But I guess
because the baddies from the first game are like the main characters of Phantom Pain. Yeah. In a way, like Big Boss and Ocelot and things like that.
Yeah, I think Miller's in there. I don't know. I remember. I forgot. Is that the same Miller? I don't know. But
it might well be. It probably. If it is the same Miller, it's probably very deliberate.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I assumed it was a little girl because long red hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just looked at it and thought, I think that's a little girl. And then I don't know what's up with the Man on Fire.
The Man on Fire, yeah.
The Man on Fire, which is a good name because it's simple.
What is he? He's the Man on Fire.
Well, he's on fire and he's a man. Although he's also covered in bullets. kind of.
Yeah.
Like he's got the crown of bullets and he's got other bullets kind of jutting out of him.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the. Do you remember the trailer for the Phantom Pain?
The
reveal trailer for it.
There was the weird reveal trailer
Before it was
revealed to be Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. Actually, the pretend studio was like a Moby Dick reference as well. Actually,
really,
that they had. So
that's so weird.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is then the Man on Fire a reference to Moby Dick as well?
Maybe, but it was.
I hope those friggin' Moby Dick references go somewhere for the record.
People who just like read Moby Dick are like, dude, it's definitely this.
Oh, you're such an idiot.
Read it again, man. No, but I think so. I could be wrong, but with the pretend studio, but I just remember it being like I was watching it like because I knew it was by Hideo Kojima, and then people were like, no, that's gonna be Metal Gear Solid 5, and I'm like, what, really? And I was like, yeah, it's good. That's obviously like Big Boss after like he was in the coma, because we knew he was in the coma a while back, kind of thing.
Oh,
we knew
okay,
he came back in the past. That was the thing that happened.
That was established. Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, that's just him after getting up from the coma, and during like Les Enfants Terribles, that's when you get Solid Snake and Liquid Snake. He's cloned basically.
Yeah.
God, Jesus Christ. Fucking Metal Gear. It's weird when I actually talk about it and try to explain it to people, but it's just
well, I mean, no, I'm pretty willing to accept whatever, because I've played other games too.
But I remember the trailer's really cool, and then at the end the logo, it just said Phantom Pain, but if you kind of turned up the brightness, you can see like Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's really interesting.
So because it was like and the shapes were, because you know the way you can see the logo now, and you see
and
Metal Gear
actually
Solid 5 is kind of on top of Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
They pretty much had that, but like
they only did the Phantom Pain part.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So that's that. I forgot what I was talking about.
I was sorry, on the topic of more Moby Dick references. There's also, did you listen to any of the cassette tapes?
Yeah, I listened to a couple of them. Yeah,
because I was trying to listen through. I haven't listened to them all yet, but I was trying to listen through all the not the music, the actual like discussions you have with different characters and stuff. And there's one where they talk about why they put you in that hospital and things like that.
Yeah.
They talk about how, they put you in a hospital in a military base in Cyprus, and the point is that it's a British military base. It's a hospital inside a British military base.
Okay.
And like, I think it's Miller explaining it to you. It might be Ocelot. I'm not very good at telling the difference.
They're all very like.
They're all just kind of slightly old, grizzled men.
Yeah.
Who have probably seen too much. But yeah, whoever Ocelot / Miller. Millerot. Millerot explains to you that like the idea was like because Cypher, the bad guys, whoever they are, Cypher like own both like Britain and America, so they got you out of the American base in Cuba to the British base in Cyprus.
Yeah.
So like they said like, oh, we got you out of the little America to the little Britain, which might be a little Britain reference, but I doubt it. And so they said like, oh, you were safe in this hospital inside Cypher territory because the safest place from the whale is inside its belly.
Oh, okay.
And then they make a Pinocchio reference. So I don't know. Whales are a theme, I guess. I don't know.
What's all these like?
And then there's the fact that the ship you leave in is a whaler, I guess. Is that relevant?
What's all these like? What's all the media these days with all the Pinocchio references? Like, remember the trailer for like Age of Ultron?
Oh yeah, there are no strings on me.
Everyone's doing Pinocchio impressions, but with Cypher. Do you remember Metal Gear Solid 2 with all the talks to the Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cypher's kind of like I could be wrong because maybe I wasn't listening, but I know that they're kind of they're kind of the people who were starting the Patriots up.
Yeah.
And they're the guys kind of responsible for him because reasons. I don't know. The Patriots has always been that's kind of the parts of the Metal Gear Solid universe. It's just like, what about the Patriots? Oh, just don't ask me about the Patriots, okay? But we can wrap up the.
But that's
not the podcast right now. Don't worry. But we can wrap up the Metal Gear Solid talk because I don't want to talk about it for too much.
Fair enough. I was going to say we've only actually talked about the weird Moby Dick references and barely talked about the game at all.
It's a good game.
It's a very good game. You get a thing called a Fulton, which are basically like balloons you can attach to things, and then they get whisked off to your base, which is called Mother Base, and it's a base you have, and you can kind of kidnap unconscious soldiers, and then they get kind of persuaded to join your side.
Because you say, we have Big Boss on our team. And
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay.
Yeah, and there's like, yeah, you're like, it's not entirely like clear what happens, because obviously, like, like as you said earlier, Ocelot is a man who loves a good torture.
Yeah.
So there could be torture involved, but there's a tape where it talks about like the difference between all the different private military companies, and like Miller basically explains that like all anyone wants to do is work for Big Boss.
Yeah.
Because he's so cool. So like all they have to do. So the idea is like you can convince them on the battlefield because no one remembers what you look like because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But when you have them in Mother Base, they have the time to persuade them that you're the real Big Boss. And that apparently is enough to make them join.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like, how much he's just lying to you, it's not.
Big Boss is so, like... It's like, now he's just a big Mary Sue character.
I don't know, I think it's pretty cool.
No, he's still cool. I love him. Like, I love, like, any iteration of Snake, really. Just Solid Snake and Big Boss are both cool, so...
Yeah, I think
Big Boss is cooler because he was the guy who did it first, so...
Yeah. I actually think it's fun because I think when you're playing a game like Metal Gear, and like when you play, well, at least when I play, I'm not very good at the game. So like, there's this weird like kind of dichotomy where like everyone says Big Boss is the best, but then like in reality he's kind of just slightly incompetent.
Yeah,
and like
I get that a lot.
And there's something about that makes it okay. Like if the game was really easy and everyone spent all their time saying how Big Boss was the best, that'd probably bother me more. Yeah. But I think because I know that like the fact that he's supposed to be the best is just slightly funny because I know he's not the best because I'm playing him.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why it works. But I do, yeah. I just love Big Boss jokes. It's just really fun. Like when I tried to, like when in that cutscene where like Quiet tries to CQC you and you said you're trying to CQC me. I invented CQC.
I literally invented it.
I just love the idea of someone inventing CQC.
But he yeah, but he actually co-invented it. That's the thing.
Oh, because of the gun knife thing.
Yeah, and I think that's like that's a specific martial art called CQC, not just like.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's still pretty funny because it's just like we're just like, no, you didn't invent that. That's just like grappling people.
You can't invent that.
Yeah.
But
with the gun knife is just a special way.
Gun knife.
Because he says, I always want a gun on my knife because you need to stab someone. I don't know. And then when he gets the gun, he's just like, like it smells good.
He gets so excited about that gun. He doesn't get.
Sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say he doesn't get that excited about any gun in Metal Gear Solid 5.
No, but
sorry.
No, because no David Hayter, But did you notice? Remember that scene where like Ocelot was training in some guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's talking like engravings don't do anything. In Metal Gear Solid 3. It's basically kind of like Ocelot's trying to be that cool guy, and he has an engraved kind of pistol, and then like Big Boss CQCs and was like, engravings don't do any, like they don't help at all. And then he's like, what you shoot like a revolver, you need to have a revolver. And then Ocelot pretty much like mirrors what he said there to the guys. So
okay, that's cool.
And when I saw that, I was just like, oh my god, fanboy.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I mean, because he sort of shoots from the hip, and Ocelot like calls him out on it, but then he's like, you're actually a good shot and things like that.
Yeah, it's like it's not you're not in a Hollywood movie.
Yeah. No, it was a cool scene. I liked it. I also like Dog. I like Dog. I know he's called D-Dog or DD, but I just call him Dog.
DD.
Or Top Dog.
Top Dog.
He's Top Dog.
He is top. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Top Dog. Top Man.
We got top men on it.
Top Man. But it's a great game.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
And we have talked about it for the majority of the podcast.
Really, at this stage? Oh my word!
We knew we were going to do it.
Yeah, we were aware. I think definitely we have to do we have to make some sort of video of us playing it.
I think so.
I think that'd be a good way to start our actually making videos rather than just constantly making podcasts.
Yeah.
Thing, because it's a game that we both play a huge amount of.
I think it'll be fun.
It would be fun. Although I guess that we have to decide how we're going to do it. Are we going to make separate videos? I mean, because we could both play on my computer. We could just pass the controller and things like that.
Yeah, no, we're just if we're going to do that, just play together. And we'll pass controller, lifey and stuff, and just lifey.
Sorry, just the way I've never heard it said like that. It makes sense, but like.
No, just when you die, give pass along. Like lifey.
Sorry, it's just really the idea of it being like these really sort of like somber people and like you just dying like lifey. You just pass it on to the next man. Or you're playing like Until Dawn or something.
Yeah.
Lifey.
Yeah.
But it's an excellent game.
It is.
It's absolutely worth. I mean, just based on what I've played, I'd say it's absolutely worth the retail price. And if you want to wait and get it, a bit cheaper, absolutely reasonable. But if you are concerned about the amount of content or whether it's worth the money, I'd say it absolutely is.
It is. Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, like obviously, as I said, I've only played 15 hours so far, but I'm hugely impressed. And even based on the missions I've done, if I decided to go back and try and S rank the missions I haven't S ranked, that's more stuff to do. Although I don't know if you can go back and S rank everything. Can you S rank like the prologue mission, for example?
You can actually replay the missions.
Okay.
If you go back to the missions, it'll kind of say flashback.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of replay them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna say about with the annotation for skipping ahead. It's gonna say, sorry, we actually did talk about it for the entire thing.
I'm so sorry. Oh God.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's.
We're just gonna have to apologize.
Yeah, we're just gonna apologize. So they're gonna skip ahead and just get to this part where we just apologize over and over again.
We should think about something that isn't Metal Gear Solid 5 for all those who aren't
yes.
interested in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, who cares? We're gonna talk about Metal Gear Solid 5. It's a great game.
It's a great game. It's absolutely worth getting. We've already said this.
We said this stuff already.
All right, I think we should stop because we're floating around in circles because we don't know how to follow up Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, we don't. All right.
We don't have anything we're as excited about. I don't think.
Yeah. This has been kind of like an ill edition of Coffee and Chat. Stat. You have like a sore foot.
I've got a sore foot.
I'm kind of recovering from a...
You're recovering from a bad burger.
Yeah, from a bad burger, I think.
Bad burger.
And we're just kind of tired and ill, I guess, and we're just...
Yeah,
we're doing it anyway,
It's a little bit low key, but I think it's good that we occasionally do podcasts without guests.
Yeah.
Just to get us to do things and talk about things. But yeah, we should finish up because we're running out of stuff to talk about. So if you enjoyed this podcast,
if you enjoyed it,
do leave a like in the thing, and if you have any criticism, constructive or otherwise, preferably constructive, you can leave a comment below. You can subscribe to DC's channel if you'd like to listen to more podcasts.
Yeah.
But we might be moving them to a different channel.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know about that.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And if you have any suggestions for a channel name, because we are still working on that, absolutely leave them in comments. We'll take everything into consideration.
Yeah. We might add them all into one super, name. All the suggestions just become one.
Oh God. Well, we might. We're not going to say we are because we've already committed to too many things. So thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you so much, guys.
Have a good day.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.